Hello guys, it's Armark here. In today's video I'm going to speak about the nightmare dungeons in Diablo 4. So here we are in the game and let me enter in to show you uh, exactly what a nightmare dungeon is. So firstly, this is the core of the endgame activity in Diablo 4 and essentially you can do nightmare dungeons once you go into nightmare and torment difficulties. To enter a nightmare dungeon, you need a sigil, like this for example. These here are all nightmare sigils from the different zones. This is here a Skull's Gland sigil. You can see above the name, at the top you can see the name, what tier is it. They go up to 100, which is very high. And below you can see the name of the dungeon that is the sigil for, in which zone, and how many revives you have, which means you can die 4 times, and after that the dungeon is failed. And below you can see that there are affixes that the nightmare dungeons can roll. The one with the green letters, this is something you get as a bonus, and the others are things that the monsters do or have a bonus themselves. For example, here the Drifting Shade, this is similar to the blight skill of the necromancer. It searches you. Once it finds you, dazes you. You can't do skills. That is what daze means. And yeah, this is example for a power here, for affix. Sorry. Also, you can see here that monsters deal additional 30% of their physical damage as burning. Also, they take less fire damage. They can roll, for example, to take less physical or to take less damage from close range or from distant range. It doesn't matter. And the last one is something, for example, here is resistances break. There may be an armor break, or there is this annoying affix which says when monsters hit you from behind, they do 150% more damage. So basically, these are the affixes that that may be rolled on the sigil. Also, there are two types of sigils as the items. We have sacred and ancestral. These here are ancestral, and the ancestral nightmare sigils are the most important, of course. And they go from tier 21 and above, I believe. So when you enter torment, you start doing tier 21 and above. When you activate a sigil, basically it applies these affixes and this tier to the dungeon which is for. So basically, one thing you need to know here is that the level of the monsters inside the dungeon, if you haven't heard this anywhere else, it's the tier of the sigil plus 54. So for example, this here is 32 plus 54, which means 86. And this is exactly my level here. I'm doing higher tier dungeons, like for example 35s, 34s, 35s, doesn't matter. But yeah, the main idea is that you need to find these sigils, and they drop pretty frequently if you're playing nightmare dungeons, and if you're at this difficulty, you have no problem finding sigils. Also, you can craft them. So the main topic of the video is that I came to this point of the game where I was doing mainly nightmare dungeons, and here and there I was looking for example, there will be a world boss or hell tides. Basically, these are the 3 activities that I'm doing after I've completed all of my renown. As you can see, everything's done. I've done the campaign and so on and so on. I don't care much about doing Tree of Whispers. If I feel the favors, I return them, and that's all. But I'm not aiming for the Tree of Whispers, not going for the Legion events that much as well. So basically, you're doing nightmare dungeons. If you see hell tides, it's a good idea. If you see world boss as well, funny activity to do. but mainly you will be doing nightmare dungeons. And once I started, there are a lot of sigils dropping, and you're wondering, well, okay, there are a lot of dungeons, but which ones should I do? And I decided to make a ranking. It's based on my perspective. I mean, you can find the different rankings. And at the moment, from all of the 100 and how many dungeons are in the game, we have 21 here and 23 here and 23 here and 23 here. So basically, there are around 110, 120 dungeons. And 30 of these dungeons can be nightmare dungeons at this point. So we have sigils for 30 of the dungeons, and in every zone we have 5 zones. Every zone, 6 dungeons can be nightmare dungeons at this point, and Blizzard said that they're gonna rotate them. So for example, when season 1 launches, there will be different dungeons that are going to be nightmare dungeons. And a lot of people were leveling up while doing normal dungeons and just going into the dungeon, kill a lot of monsters, kill big groups of enemies, and go out. Didn't even complete the dungeon, which is efficient way to level up, but you're not leveling up your glyphs, which means you're falling off power. You're losing power this way, and the glyphs are essentially this glyph socket, for example, which I haven't filled yet, but here I have a glyph which is leveled up to level 9, which is, what is this? It's not written here, unfortunately. We would like to see this. Okay, so the level of the glyph is 19, and I'm leveling these glyphs via nightmare dungeons. And this is the good idea, to play nightmare dungeons and grind nightmare dungeons as much as possible. First for XP, second for upgrading your glyphs, because they are giving you tremendous power in the Paragon boards, and also you're finding loot. Well, if you're doing different activities, you have XP as well, you have loot as well, but you can't upgrade your sigils. And while doing nightmare dungeons, you can hit 3 things with one shot, 3 rabbits with one shot. Okay. And basically, my idea was to find the best dungeons that I can grind, because you won't be able to play the same dungeon over and over again, because you have a key for it, and once you are out of keys, you need to go to a different one. And I was doing them randomly, but I thought that it's not efficient, because there is a time time travel. I'm speaking stupid stuff right now. There is travel time, essentially, from dungeon to dungeon, and the best way to do them is to gather some good amount of keys, for example 5-10 keys for one dungeon, and go and grind this dungeon. You may have the luck to find even more keys for this one while doing the ones you have already. And once your keys are over for this one, you go to the next one where you have the most keys of. And you can't play all the dungeons because they're very different. So basically, there can be 3 levels of the dungeons, and there may be 2 different maps, for example, or it may be only 1 map. They're very different from each other, and the mob types in there are also different. And I decided to play every nightmare dungeon at the moment, which is possible, and do some kind of ranking, which are the best and the fastest dungeons to finish, and at the same time which are giving you the most XP. I wasn't calculating the XP, but I was looking at the density and at the monsters. This is not a tier list for pushing, for example. It's mainly for people who want to do nightmare dungeons for leveling, and to be able to clear the dungeons as fast as possible, and at the same time get XP. So basically, I'm looking at how far the dungeon is from a waypoint, what are the types of monsters, how many objectives you have, and what are the types of the objectives. And I have a list here that I've made on a spreadsheet, and these things here are how I'm ranking the dungeons. And here there are 30 sigils. This is from fractured pieces. You can see there are all the zones here. And starting with the fractured peaks, I'm looking to keep only decent and good keys. So here I ranked these three as good dungeons overall. I'm not looking to keep keys for these three, for example. And the reason why is here the Black Asylum, we have a prison map. The prison map is 50-50. I mean, it's nice once you the first time you play it, but overall there are better maps. We're looking for more open maps, we're looking for more dense maps, and the prison map is not this kind of a map. It's more of a tunnels, you go from room to a room. And second problem with the Black Asylum is this thing here, killing all enemies. There are specific moments where this objective is not that bad, and we'll see dungeons with these objectives that are fine to do. And the first objective here, 2 gates, is fine, but killing all enemies on a big map, it's not a good idea. And you are roaming around, you're going in a circle, you may skip some enemy by mistake and you need to track back. That's not a good idea. We don't have a boss, which is fine, but we have ghosts. I believe there are red ghosts in this dungeon. The red ghosts are very annoying. The skellies are fine as a mob type. So overall, this dungeon is not a great idea. Maybe it even can go lower as this category. But this is the one that I'm not keeping keys of. The Cultist Refuge and Core Dragon ones are fairly decent. This one is very close to a waypoint. It's in Ostrava. Once you clear your stronghold, you unlock the Cultist Refuge. It's a good dungeon. So I've written some bullshit here. Corner room with less possibility of missing an enemy. Yeah, basically there are rooms like you're in a wooden building or something, like in the first quest of the game, the first dungeon in the game in the campaign. I believe that was the map, and you need to kill all enemies, but for this instance here, you're going in one direction. You can't go, you're not meant to choose any different direction to go, and you're going in only one direction. There are no other corridors, and you're essentially killing the enemies, and it's not that long. You need to do 2 turns or something like that, so it's fine. And the second objective is slay the high priests, which is fine as well. We don't have a boss. Cultist, werewolves, killies. These are the written type 1 werewolves, because in Skullgland we have second type of werewolves, and we have other bears there. But essentially the mob type is decent, and this dungeon is good to be done. It's good for grinding. It can be done fairly fast. It's close to a waypoint, and the enemies are good. We have only 2 objectives. The slay all enemy, the bad one, is actually not that bad in this case, which makes this dungeon decent. And I'm keeping these keys as well, because once I finish the good ones, the green ones, I need something to do while I'm searching for these good ones. So that is the reason I'm keeping these. The Cold Dragon one is a little bit iffy. The map is not great, for sure. Especially floor 1 is rooms, like in the first... oh, this one may be a prison map, I don't know. Anyways, this one for sure is these wooden rooms, the wooden building that you enter. And the first floor is not that big. You go like in a maze or something. It's a little bit annoying. You're searching for mechanisms. It's fine. First objective is fairly fine. You go quicker to the next floor, but the next floor is very big. It's enormous, and you not be that fast while searching for these five blood boils. They're not. If you have a quick character like, for example, a rogue, you'll be able to clear this faster. But I'm playing on a necro, so this is from a necro perspective. The necros are the slowest class, so keep that in mind. And this one is very good because it's very dense. And yeah, the mob type is not that great. The vampires can be dangerous sometimes, but if you want to take more time into a dungeon and grind more XP, the second floor is good. It's very dense. It's fairly open. Let's say it's not that mazy like the first one, so it can be fine. And again, we have only two objectives. We don't have a boss. This one is the worst for me in the Fractured Peaks. We have a lot of freeze here. We have three objectives. The Fallen archetype, the Cold Fallen, and we have Lunatics, which are exploding, the exploding guys who are searching for you, and once they got near you, they explode. These are the Lunatics, and we have three types. We have Cold, we have Fire, and we have Lightning. And the Cold one is the second most annoying, the Fire is the worst one. We have dungeons with Fire Lunatics, a lot, actually. And they're pretty annoying if you can't escape their explosions faster. So this one I'm not looking forward to play. I'm keeping sigils from it just to destroy them and take materials to search for these better ones. This Malut is the best one. It has only two objectives. I've grinded it even when I'm leveling different characters. I'm using this dungeon because it's very close to a waypoint. It's in the Fractured Peaks, in the areas where you unlock fairly quickly in the beginning of the game. It doesn't matter if in a campaign or not campaign. You can grind this dungeon even if it's not a nightmare one. It's a very good dungeon. It's fairly dense. We have only two objectives. The bandits is the slowest one of the both, but they're equal. I can say they're fairly equal. And especially if you have a quicker character, this dungeon is amazing. We have good, decent density, let's say. The mob type is fine. These trees are a little bit can be annoying because they hit really hard, but if you kill them fast, they're no problem. The bandits can daze you, but again, it's not a big issue. This dungeon is the best one in the Fractured Peaks, and for me, basically the best overall for farming XP and leveling up glyphs. This is the main point. The Zenith one, I'm not looking forward to it. We have three objectives here, again, like in the Lost Archives, and it's not close to a waypoint. We have the map is a cave, and the monsters are not freezing you, but we have an objective. It's a frozen cave, and we have an objective which can freeze you. So the freeze is one of the most annoying crowd controls in the game. We're not looking forward to this, and yeah, this is taking a lot of time, so it's not recommended. Let's go to Skonsglant, and Outerwood is the one that I prefer here in the Sunken Ruins. Basically, this map, this act, and this region here, I don't enjoy the nightmare dungeons at the moment. Most of them are away from the waypoint, not very close, and they're very annoying, honestly. I mean, we have a lot of objectives or annoying mobs, so yeah, it's not that great, or the maps are not good as well. We have how I put it here, let me see, forest paths or something like that. So they're very narrow, they're tight, you don't have much space to maneuver, so I'm keeping keys for this only if I don't have anything else to play. The Champion's Demise, probably you've heard of this. People were grinding this for XP non-nightmarish. And Even Nightmare one is a good one, because this dungeon is gonna take you time to finish it. This is for sure, because it's very big map, open map, and you need to go to 3 separate directions. If you're playing this in groups, it's not a bad idea. Actually, the Core Dragon one is similar in this manner of thinking, because it's a big one, and if you're 2 or 3 players, you can spread around the map and clear these boils fast. But yeah, this one can give you a lot of XP, because it's very dense. There are a lot of elites, a lot of monsters. We have spiders there. The spiders are a nice mob type. I don't love them. I like them a lot, because they're spawning little monsters, and the necromancer needs a lot of corpses and a lot of density to be able to maintain his essence. So I like when I throw my bone spear and I'm not losing essence. And with 1 or 2 bone spears, I can clear the whole screen as well. So I can show you. I may do 1 dungeon after that. It depends. So basically, this one is very interesting dungeon, but it's the worst positioned one at the moment. So if you don't have at least 10 keys for this one, I'm not recommending it. But and also we have 3 different objectives here. The only reason is that it's dense, and you can't go the wrong way that easily. It's a narrow map, but it's mostly straightforward. It's not a big idea. It's not a something ridiculous. But anyways, it's a good for XP. It's fun to do, but like I said, let me show you in the game where exactly it is located. I believe. No, that's not it. 1 second. No, that's not it. Where was it? I believe it's somewhere here, but of course I'm mistaken. Oh, there it is. The Dark Ravine. It's here in this area, and as you can see, you can enter only from here. You need to go this way, this way. It's pretty far away, so it's not recommended for the travel time. Let's go back to the spreadsheet really quickly. This one is decent, right next to a waypoint. We have cannibals, ghosts here. We have slay all enemies, but it's fairly easy. I am not ranking the bosses like something significant, because I'm if I'm not 1 or 2 shotting them with 3 bone spears, they're dead. So yeah, this is another very good one. We have spiders again here and maggots. We have only 2 objectives. So we have slay 3 monsters and go to the boss. And essentially, this dungeon is a 4-corner big cave. What I mean under a 4-corner, in the first corner you will find the exit, or at least every damn time. Doesn't matter if I go to the right or if I go to the left, or let's say north or south. Every time the first thing I find is the exit for the next level. And after that I go to the next corners, and I'm going to the outside of the map. I'm doing round circles on the map, and I'm finding the elites very quickly. And also it's very good for XP. It's fast to be done, so this is another recommended one, but it's not close to a waypoint. So again, you need to find at least 5 to 10 sigils to be able to play it normally and to not lose time. And essentially, we search here efficiency and effectiveness. These are the other 2 that you can keep some keys for them if you like. In my opinion, I don't like these 2. This one is iffy. Now I put it in yellow just because you have prisoners and then objectives. Fine. They're good for experience, but firstly they take time to be done. The maps are not that great, and we have the most annoying mob type for me in the game, the snakes. which are stunning you, freezing, and they're not freezing, but they're stunning a lot. Yeah, they're poisoning sometimes, and they're a lot. They do a lot of damage. They're the most annoying mob type for me in the game. So I don't like playing snakes. If you like playing snakes, the serpent layer can be a good option if you like to grind this one. I don't enjoy it at all. And so the last act here in Kyrgyzstan, I enjoyed the abandoned mine works. We have 6 prisoners and 3 monsters to kill after that. We have ghosts, but they're the green ones. We have spiders again. So basically, most of the dungeons that I like are spiders. And as I said, the reason why is they're very dense. It's a very high density mob type. Because once you kill the big guys that are keeping the spiders, they spray 1 big or 2 big spiders around, and a lot of small ones. The small ones die immediately. They're giving me corpses. The corpses are giving me essence. They're giving me corpse tendrils, and so on and so on. So I enjoy playing big density, and I'm killing these guys faster. But for example, we have the Champion's Demise, where we have Goldmen and spiders, and it's better XP essentially. But this one is also good. It can be done faster than the Champion's Demise. This one is it's very bad one. We don't have boss, and we have 3 different objectives. The map is not great as well, and the mob type is atrocious, so I don't recommend it. These 2 are let's say 50-50. They're not that bad to be done, but essentially you have a lot of things to do here, so they're taking your time. And the Cathedral of Light mob type guys, the knights and the priests and whatever, they're a little bit 50-50 as a mob type. I enjoy them, but they can be dangerous. And these 2 here, I was actually thinking of that these gonna be the worst dungeons in the game so far for me, but it turned out that the worst ones are these 2. And in Skull's Gland as well, these were very annoying as well. I don't know why. I just didn't felt them to be funny. The positioning of the dungeons is far away. The maps are not great. The objectives are a lot, as you can see. And also the mob type is eh. So similar thing here. The main reason is the mob type and the positioning in the map. But these 2 happen to be interesting, at least once I decided to do this ranking. Firstly, I thought they're atrociously bad and not fun to be done, but after I did them and write these things here, and of course making comparison with the other ones, I came up with this conclusion that they're decent. So if you like these, you can do this as well. But my opinion here is that you need to keep Marwood keys, you need to keep Champion's Demise, you need Blinded Burrows, and Abandoned Mine Works. These are probably the best dungeons, nightmare dungeons. There may be other dungeons that are good for experience, but as I said, I'm doing nightmare dungeons for XP, for loot, and also upgrading my glyphs. So that is why I don't bother doing normal dungeons. If I would like to do normal dungeons, there are other good XP dungeons in the game at the moment, where you can go, kill every enemy on the first floor, kill all the elites, go out, reset, and yeah, you know the drill. Yeah, so basically that's all. I don't have time to show you a dungeon now, because the video is too long already. But that's the main idea. If you like my spreadsheet and my ranking here, I can let you take a look at it one more time. But of course, you can check out the video whenever. And I don't believe it's I can open it. I can open the spreadsheet to be seen, but if I decide to do that, I will let you know. But if you have interest in looking at the spreadsheet, you can leave me a comment down there, and probably I will unlock it. So now I'm just clicking here all the tabs so you can see what I came up with. But of course, it's only my opinion. I'm not using any calculators and, for example, XP numbers or something. I'm just looking at from casual. It's a not good word for me, but a normal player's perspective, not from a professional perspective or a very hardcore one. So basically, if you have any questions or if you like what I've done here, you can leave me a comment. You can like the video, drop a follow. I will always appreciate it. It's helping a lot. Also, you can find me on Twitch, where I'm doing all these things. And I have also TikTok and Twitter. If you like to follow me there, I'll appreciate it as well very much. Thank you very much again, guys, and see you on stream, see you on YouTube. There are a lot of videos that are going to be done in the upcoming months and probably years, I hope so. So keep the D4 grind and see you soon. Bye, YouTube.